Okay, guys, in this lesson, we're going to learn how to write equations from word problems and solve them. So let's look at a few different types that we will encounter. Josh is 3 more than twice as old as Callie. The sum of their age is 60. How old is each person? So the first thing that we're always going to do when we're writing our equations is create a formula. So in this situation, we have two different people and we know the sum of their age is 60. So we're going to have Josh, his age, plus Callie, her age, is going to equal to 60. So it's super important that you create a formula. So whatever was going on in the situation. Now we need to represent Josh and Callie, but we only need to use one type of variable, and I will probably always use X. So it says Josh is 3 more than twice as old as Callie. So my rule of thumb is the part of the situation that you know the least about will be our variable. So we know nothing really about Callie. So I'm going to let X stand for Callie, her age. So now let's use that X to represent Josh. It says Josh is 3 more than twice as old as Callie. So twice Callie would be 2 times X. And then we have plus 3. Now the reason I flipped the 2X in front of the plus 3 is because the phrase more than or less than or younger than or anything with than, we have to flip-flop the order in the way we see it in the sentence to how we write it mathematically. So now we know we have an expression for Josh and Callie for their age. Now we can plug those expressions into the formula to create the equation. So for Josh, we have 2x plus 3. Then we have plus, and this is the key part for our formula, x is Callie. So many times people forget to put the additional plus x to represent that other person. So now we're simply going to solve. So we're going to combine our like terms. 2x plus 1x is 3x plus 3 equals 60. We're going to isolate x by subtracting 3 from both sides. We get 3x equals 57. We're going to undo multiplication by division, and we have isolated x, and x, which is Callie's age, so 3 goes in a 5 one time, and then that would be 2 left over, and so it would be 19. So Callie is 19, and Josh is going to be 2 times 19 plus 3, and 2 times 19 is 38, plus 3 does give us 41. And 41 plus 19 does give us 60. So let's take a look at another problem about age. Jace is 10 more than twice as old as Ben. The sum of their age is 46. How old is each person? So again, we have two people's age added together because it says sum, and we can create a little formula. Now let's represent Jace and Ben using the same variable x. Jace is 10 more than twice as old as Ben. This time we know nothing about Ben, so let's let x represent Ben's age. Jace is 10 more than, so here's the flip-flop, so 10 more than means plus 10, and twice Ben would be 2 times x. So now let's substitute our expressions into our formula. So Jace, which is 2x plus 10, that's his age, plus the age of Ben, x, equals 46. Okay, now let's solve. Let's combine our like terms. We have 3x plus 10 is equal to 46. We're going to isolate x by subtracting out the 10 first. And then we're going to divide each side by 3. And x, which is Ben's age, is 12. So Ben is 12. Jace is 2 times the 12 plus 10. So 2 times 12 is 24, plus 10 is 34. 34 and 12 would give us that 46. Okay, let's do another one here, and then we'll move on to a different type of equation. Hallie is 10 years less than 3 times as old as Amber. Lydia is 14 years more than half as old as Amber. The sum of their age is 58. How old is each person? So we know a little bit about Hallie. We know a little bit about Lydia. We know nothing about Amber. So we're going to let Amber be X, and let's write our formula. So we have Hallie, and the order doesn't matter because of commutative property. Hallie's age plus Lydia's age plus Amber's age gives us a total of 58. So we're going to use X for Amber. We know nothing about Amber. Now, Hallie is 10 years less than, so we have a flip-flop, and this time it's going to be subtracting 3 times as old as Amber. So 3X minus 10 will be Hallie. Lydia is 14 years more than, so another flip-flop, and we're adding because it says more and not less. Half as old as Amber, so half of Amber, so we can say X divided by 2, or you could have had 1/2 times X. Now, let's substitute in each of these expressions into our formula. Hallie is going to be 3X minus 10 plus Lydia is X over 2 plus 14 plus Amber, which is X, equals 58. Now let's combine our like terms. We have 3X, half an X, and 1X. So 3 and 1 is 4. So we have 4, and we can have 1/2 X. And then we're going to combine our constants. Negative 10 plus 14 is 4 equals 58. Okay, now we are going to subtract out 4 first. We're going to subtract 4 from both sides. This is going to give us, I'm going to go ahead and convert this to an improper. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So I have 9/2 X equals, and the 58 minus 4 is 54. Now we're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. So X equals 9 goes into 54, 6, and 6 times 2 is 12. So Amber is 12. Hallie is going to be 3 times 12 minus 10. 3 times 12 is 36 minus 10 is 26. So Hallie's 26. And Lydia is half of 12 plus 14. So half of 12 is 6 plus 14 is 20. So here are their ages. Okay, now let's take a look at a new problem, and we're going to be looking at the perimeter of a rectangle. Perimeter is distance all the way around an object. So we have a length, a width, a length, and a width. So a rectangle has a perimeter of 108 units. The length is 6 less than, there's that flip-flop phrase, 4 times the width. Determine the dimensions of the rectangle. So the formula is going to be, we have 2 lengths to add together plus the 2 widths gives us the perimeter of 108. Now let's represent width and length with an expression. We know a little bit about the length, but we know nothing about the width, so let's let X stand for our width. The length is 6 less than 4 times the width, so we're going to flip those around, and it's minus 6. Now, let's substitute in X for width and 4X minus 6 for length, and we're going to have to use parentheses because we have a coefficient of 2 out front. So 2 times the length plus 2 times the width equals 108. Now let's distribute to get rid of the parentheses. So we have 8X minus 12 plus 2X equals 108. We're going to combine like terms, and we have 10X minus 12 is equal to 108. Isolate X, add 12 to both sides. This gives us 10X equal to 120. Divide by 10. And x, our width, is going to be 12. And now let's see the length. It's 4 times 12 minus 6. 4 times 12 is 48, minus 6 gives us 42. So we have 42 and 42 and 12 and 12. And we were to add all those up, we would get the 108. Let's try another one. Again, it's good to draw a picture when you can. The perimeter of a rectangle is 84 units. The length is 12 more than twice the width. What are the measurements? Whoops, a little transposure there. What are the measurements? So our formula again is going to be 2 lengths plus 2 widths is equal to 84. So here we know again a little bit about the length, but nothing about the width. So let's let width be the variable x. Now let's write length. The length is 12 more than twice, so we're going to flip-flop because of the phrase more than. So we have 2 times x plus 12, and now we're going to substitute these expressions into our formula. Again, we're going to use parentheses. So we have 2 lengths, so 2 times 2x plus 12 plus 2 times x equals 84. We're going to distribute the 2. We have 4x plus 24 plus 2x equals 84. We're going to combine like terms, and we get 6x plus 24 is equal to 84. Let's isolate x by subtracting first, and we get 6x is equal to 60. We're going to divide each side by 6 and 10, which is our width. So x, which is our width, is 10. So x is 10. Length is 2 times the 10 plus 12. So we have 20 plus 12 is 32.